Hey everyone, Bella here from Self Publishing School. This video, I am going to actually audit with a screen share a number of different author websites ranging from nonfiction self-help to business books to children's books and to fiction books of different genres including fantasy, romance, and sci-fi. So stick around for this video if you want to know how to make your author website better or how to make it at all. Okay, we're gonna get started with some nonfiction websites first. And so I'm gonna go one by one and just teach you things that I like, don't like, areas for improvement. So right away, I can see that this website is designed really cleanly, sleek, professional, definitely has some kind of minimalistic design, but it's not boring, which is important. I love the flash of bright yellow that really makes the book stand out well. So one thing that I noticed right away is that there's nothing in this menu. So there's not a logo, there's not a name of her, like her author name or her website or nothing that tells me what site am I on up in this area. So that's one thing to have as well. It can be her book name or it can be her name herself, so Anne. So keep that in mind as well. The next thing that I notice is the menu only has a few different options. And so one thing that it's missing that I think is important is the contact information. So when people are coming to your website, they might come here through a blog post, since I know she has a blog, and really they might want to work with her. They might want to book her on a podcast. They might want to see if they can buy books in bulk for a conference or a book club. So one thing that you want to have especially is a way for people to contact you. And most often that is a form that they can fill out to get in touch. And having that in the menu is important so they don't have to scroll below the fold. So you might hear me use that phrase quite a bit in this video, below the fold, and that just means anything before somebody has to scroll. So above or below the fold. So above the fold means anything before they have to scroll. Below the fold is anything that is below that line. So in this case, and that depends on the screen as well. So in this case, anything above the fold is just her book with this section here. Now, one thing I want to say is I think this looks really great. It looks pretty. It's really nice. I think there is opportunity to market this a little bit better instead of just having, the title here with the subtitle. And this might be something that's on the back of the book, might not be. But this is an opportunity to really sell her book if she wants people to buy it. So right for this, I would say this text is very eye-catching. After I look at the book, I'm most likely going to read this first. And so that can be used in order to say something about what they'll learn from the book. And so one thing to keep in mind with your website, with marketing in general, and what I've learned over the 6 years I've been doing it, is that people always subconsciously are asking the question, what's in it for me? People are selfish, which might sound mean, but it's the truth. And so when somebody comes to your website and you want them to buy your book, what you have to do is tell them what's in it for them. And so while I like that her book is placed here, what I would actually recommend is that she uses this space for a lead magnet that is connected to her book. So you might know this as a reader magnet. It's also called in the book world. We teach all of our authors to have this. So if I were to go and buy this on Amazon, open the Amazon page, if I were to click in the look inside, what we have right away, and now what we actually make for our authors, is this lead magnet. So instead of having her book on that first page, I would actually have this lead magnet right at the top with a form where you can put your name and email address and get your workbook immediately. And so this does a couple of different things. One, you're offering an opportunity for somebody to connect with you and get on your email list right away. Two, you're offering something that's in it for them. So this workbook is something that they can get something out of. They'll learn something, they'll do something, and you'll want to explain that here as well. And then what you can do is below have the thank you page. So after they submit their form, something else can take the space with a link that says, hey, buy my book. Or it could redirect to a new page that says, hey, here's my book that goes with this workbook. Or you can also sell your book in the follow-up email sequence that you create. So that's just some advice for the top of the page. Now let's scroll down a little bit. So Anne has a nice little about her. One area that I would love for all of us to understand is I love how Anne set up her book first and then herself. Let's not make the mistake of thinking that all of the public cares a ton about you as a person, and that sounds really harsh, I understand. But people have to be bought into wanting something from you before they want to know about you. So keep that in mind when it comes to your author website. So I like that she did this second. What I recommend for Anne here is to take this and say, hi, I'm Anne. Make it a little more personable. One thing about books specifically as author is that your website copy is going to help sell your book. If you have a fun voice, if you have your voice bleeding through in the copy on your website, and the copy meaning any of the text on your website, people are going to be more intrigued by your book. Like, oh, she's really fun. I love the voice that she has. I would love to read a book by her. So keep that in mind when you have that. I like that she has a good, friendly, professional picture here that allows us to understand the author a little bit closer. If you click my story, it goes to her about page, which we'll check out next. My writing blog, and this has blog posts which I'm sure are connected to her book. So that looks really good. People can read more there. And in the footer. So the footer is a great place to, again, have your form like Anne has. Now, the one thing I will be repeating in this video, and you might get annoyed with it, is stop asking for people to join your email list, to join your newsletter, or anything that is not specific, because number one, people get too many emails already. They don't want to be on your email list unless you're giving them something. And so if you say, join my email list to get something for free, or to get discounts, or to get something, give them a reason for joining. Don't just tell people to join. It's very rare that they will. So that's what I would recommend. I like that the social is here. I would have their name in here just so your email list provider, you can actually use their first name in your emails to them, which is more of an advanced email marketing, which I might make a video on. Comment in the description, or comment down below in the comments if you would like a video on how to actually write your emails to your email list as an author, and I can go through some of that. But as far as her website, it looks really pretty. It is very simple, which is perfectly fine. I would recommend putting a lead magnet a little bit higher up. She does have the opportunity down below, but again, adding to like a reason to join here. So let's go ahead and go to the other pages. So let me go to my story, which is actually the about page. So one thing that I will say right away is we don't need this is taking up the whole top of the page. So when I talk about above the fold is the utmost real estate for your page. So this is where you can get people to take action the most. And so I would recommend not having just your picture and your name here. If we're navigating to this page, we already know it's the about page for Anne, right? So what I would use as the top is give maybe a one-liner or something about your why that says more about you, but also in a way that it is about the audience. So if you were to bring this section up, have not just my story, but why I decided to write a book to teach people this. So something a little bit more tangible, and then you can talk about your story and go into it. If you're somebody who's comfortable with videos, do a video on your about page. People really feel connected when they can hear somebody, they can see somebody, and that connection can help encourage them to sign up to your list, get something for free by signing up, and also buy your book. So if you're not comfortable, no big deal, but put some personality into your story. Let people hear who you are through your writing voice that is also in your book. I like that you have your family, and maybe you can have, I think you might have something about there, but have a little bit more details about your family. Why is that something that you would feature? And feel free to really make your about page something that is more comprehensive. Let people know who you are, because the more people like you, the more they're going to buy your book. More likely they're going to be to buy your book. Let's take a look at the blog page, and then we'll move on to another website for nonfiction authors. So this looks fine. I think this is good. Let me take a look at some of the blog posts to give you a little bit of feedback about the blog itself. Yeah, I think this is great. It's broken up into sections. The quotes are different colors. It's a little harder to read. I wish there was more space between the sections and the quotes in general. So it's a little tight when it comes to spacing, but otherwise it's fine. One thing I would recommend for your blog page is to have a way for people to sign up and opt in, get something for free, get that workbook. All of your blog topics should be connected to your book's main purpose. So what's your book about? So that is what I would recommend for Anne. Ultimately, it's very nice, minimal. It works pretty well. There's just a few tweaks that can really up-level this. Let's get into the next one, Sonia Wires. So let's take a look. This website looks, right away I can see it's pretty professional. So I love that we can kind of Get a logo. We know this. We also have a second name that we can see that is familiar. Sonia Wires, Your Happiness Guide. So when I talk about using so much space above the fold without using it to capture attention, this is a good example of how that does. So I'm not really sure what Sonia is about based on this image, and this is the most valuable real estate for showing people who you are and what you have. So keep that in mind, number one. Again, I would put the lead magnet here. I would use a lot of this space for your lead magnet to say, Sonia Wires, Your Happiness Guide. But what does that mean? What are you doing? How are you guiding people? Is there a way that they can opt in to be guided by you? And what does that look like here? Start your journey to true happiness by discovering the obstacles that are in your way. Download your free guide. 5 things of your true happiness for people who have tried everything. 5 things in the way of your true happiness for people who have tried everything. So I like that. So I would take a lot of this information again and put it up on this top section. So what does the guide look like? Do you have let me just click this link here. Do you have a mock-up of the lead magnet? Oh, see, this looks great. Your Happiness Guide. It's time, take action, grab your download. This has much more actionable advice that makes more sense. Grab your free download, and with this pop-up. So I would just keep this on the main page. I don't think that you have to have 2 different pages. I'm not quite sure why this goes to a second place to get them to opt in. So I would condense that into one thing. Grab your free guide here. They're both linked up, it looks like. And this is going to a page where they have to click another button. So another piece of advice is make it easy as possible for people to take action. The more clicks that you add before somebody gives you their email address, the less likely you are to get them to give you their email address. So your list won't grow as quickly or as big. Keep that in mind. I would love if the form was just listed here, again, above the fold, so I can understand that immediately. Welcome. This section, it can be below those things. So what's a happiness guide? That's a good explanation that you can even put further up. My offer to you so that you can be your genuine self unapologetically. So I would take out my offer to you. You can just offer. So you don't have to tell people that you're offering them something. Most often, if they know that, they'll likely ignore what's below it because people don't want to be sold to. So you don't want to tell them that you're selling them something or that you're offering them something. So you could just say something like, here's what you can do to be your genuine self unapologetically. So that sentence says it itself and you don't have to offer anything. Group support, private support, speaking online, books, options to find out more. I love this little setup. I think it's very clear, very speaks to what you do. I will say that I'm a little confused by your branding. You kind of go between a little bit of nature to this like harsh blue and harsh red and yellows, which I think looks cool. I think this all looks cool and looks very professional and branded, but it just doesn't really match with this branding here. So I would figure out a through line and condense all of that stuff so that it makes more sense and people know they're on the right page when they're on your website. And so it makes a little bit, more sense overall. I like this quote. I don't think that it needs to take up all of this space with this image. Again, space on a website is prime real estate. So the more people have to scroll without getting anything in return, again, what's in it for me, the more likely they're going to click away or they're not going to be interested in what you're offering and those things. So the blog here, this looks good. I would say, so you've got a lot of these trusted entities. So these are some big names. To have TEDx even in here, whenever you have social proof, whenever you have featured in, if you wrote for other websites and were featured, put those higher up on your page. So when you have your lead magnet here and you have that it connects to your book and you let people know, below that, put your social proof. So people can say, oh, you have something for me. Oh, and it's trusted. It must be worth it. It must be trustworthy. And have them think that way. So I would put all of your featured in areas and I would put them way up higher on your page. Same with reviews. If you have book reviews, put them way up higher on your page. I'm not going to go through every single page because you do have quite a built out website. So I would say just from the homepage, which again, depending on if this is the number one page that you're sending people to, this is really the page that most people visit on a website. Even if somebody comes into your website from a blog post that you posted online or on Facebook, a lot of people will just immediately click on your logo to go to your homepage. And so you want that set up how it should best be to collect leads so you're growing your email list and you can sell your book. So here is another website we have, ZFG Living. I'm assuming that stands for something that is in this here that I don't want to say or YouTube will get mad at me. This is pretty good. So there's a couple different areas that you have here. ZFG Living, I'm not quite sure what that means yet, but maybe I'm willing to find out. Big Book of Bad Ideas, Adulting from Anxiety to Zero F's Given. So that's good here. What will people learn from your book? So I'm going to say that again. What will they take away? How can you use this text to show the people the what's in it for you? And so you have your lead magnet right below this. I would say you could probably put this up here next to your image and say, get the workbook. And then later after they got the workbook, you can have them buy the book to go with it. And so just a flip-flopping of those things might be more helpful to get you more people signing up. Again, see if you can get their name because that'll be helpful for within your emails. The Adulting for Your Future self-guide, the action plan for navigating. So this is a little vague. So navigating, what is this though? So what is that specific for? What is the step-by-step helping you obstacles of what? What kind of obstacles? Get a little bit more specific so people understand if their kind of this word is what you can help them with, because they might not know if your kind of this word is what works for them or is the same kind that they're dealing with. So that's something to think about when it comes to promoting this. And I would, put this higher up, put it along with your book, make sure people know that it goes with your book, and be a little bit more specific, like who are they going to become after they utilize your lead magnet, after they utilize this self-guide. What is the before and after? The Adulting for Your Future, what does this look like? Who is that person? Do they handle things with ease? Do they navigate life's problems calmly? What is the after, and how can you use some of that in this copy to sell your lead magnet? So I like this. A lot of this copy actually can be helpful for up here. So because of what you have, and you might want to focus on like these things, these areas that you have authority on, and be more specific. I know that we teach our authors, and so you probably heard from your coach, Melissa, to write to a specific audience, to really dive deep. And so the same thing is true for your website. I would say that I don't know what this specifically means to you. When I read this, I understand it a little bit more. So just use that. Use your authority and your experience in these areas to better sell the lead magnet that you have. More about the author. I'm going to be a little harshly honest in that almost nobody's going to read a big block of text like that. And it's more about how it's laid out, not necessarily about the text itself. So if you have something like this, start it off and have a read more that goes to your about page, or have some way to separate this out, have some way where it doesn't just look like a big block of text. Because again, people might want to learn more about you after they read your book, but before, I know this sounds a little bit backwards, but this is really how it works with people's minds when it comes to marketing. They don't want to read your entire life story. They want to know what's in it for them. Remember, we're going to go back to the what's in it for them. So think about that stuff when you set up your website, and go back, fine tune even what your lead magnet says, how it's helping them. What is the after? How long is the action plan? Is it a 5-day, 10-day? Am I going to have to commit long? Answering those questions immediately can help people opt in a little bit easier. This next website is a fiction website by a fiction author, and right away we can see the author's name here, Nola Libar, with family sagas, and you can tell right away that, oh, okay, so she must write about family sagas. The one thing that I noticed right away is I was looking for a menu like up top, and it's way over here on the top right side. So one piece of advice is to just make the menu more prevalent, more navigatable. So I know that a lot of settings and websites have a full width menu versus a not full width, and so the not full width would bring all of these elements more closer to here. And overall, I would just find a means for the navigation that's a little bit easier to see, a little bit easier to use, because again, the main navigation is where people look to for some from next steps or for some information. One thing we don't realize a lot of times as writers is this menu bar, as you can see in a lot of my previous pieces of advice, is a place that people go for information. So if I go to the homepage or if I go to the menu and I see that there's a homepage, books and resources, oh, books, must be an author, a great place that I can go, navigation. So if I scroll down, I can see that this is more visible, which is great. I still think this is like too far off to the side. And when you do scroll, there's no longer an author name or what you're about. So I love that the menu stays on screen. A lot of places in the web dev community call this a sticky menu. So if you're looking for those settings, it might be called sticky. It might be called fixed as well. And so I would have your name available here, and just so it's a little bit more clear, a little bit more easily navigatable. So again, when we talk about the prime real estate of a website above the fold, half of this above the fold is being taken, not half, maybe a third is being taken with just your name and logo. And so that's why I think you can make your menu a little bit bigger. It is thin. You can make it a little bit bigger, have your logo and then your name next to it, and then maybe Family Saga. So you're taking up a little bit more of this space and drawing attention to the navigation, and then you're not wasting so much of this space here. Now, if I scroll down, I can see that she has Summer of Second Chances. She has this really beautiful cover. Absolutely love this cover. I'm assuming it's great for the genre as well, where we can tell it's romance immediately by the cover. Now, I can't really tell that she's or has a romance in there. Can't really tell that that's the specific type of author she is. Now, if Nola is somebody who writes in a couple of different genres, so family sagas, maybe they're dramas, maybe they're contemporary, not always romance, I think that's totally fine. But I do see a disconnect between just the type of branding of this amazing cover and then, this pretty, maybe it's Hawaiian flower, something that's really pretty, but does it make sense for your audience? Does it make sense with your overall brand, what you're about? So Summer of Second Chances, again, we tend to use the title with this space, but remember, somebody's drawn by this image. I mean, the first thing I saw even when I came to your website was the picture of this book. So you can move this up. And then instead of having this text be just a repeat of the title, because we can see that, again, make it something catching, make it something, how do they get started reading it? Do you have a lead magnet that goes with it? Can you offer the first 2 or 3 chapters for free in exchange for an email address? And then later, or at the end of your lead magnet, somewhere later down the line, you can then send them the direct link, as well as making it available somewhere else on your website. So you can see that it was originally released as Rose. It can be read as a standalone, but it's also a retelling of the end of Rose's story in Forbidden Blossom. So I will say that this piece is not necessary unless you think a lot of people are coming to your website looking for this specific book. Otherwise, not relevant, because market the item you have now. At Self-Publishing School, even for our programs and our businesses, we don't say, this was originally only a nonfiction course and it was originally only had these things. No, we market the product that we have now. Don't worry about it before, especially if it's not something that the masses will know about. So I would just kind of get rid of that. This piece is interesting. I would move this down to the bottom. I would want to get people interested in the book first rather than telling them what it is a part of, just because you want people interested in this book, right? So you have the link to this one, and I'm going to mention again, give people only one thing to do, one link at a time, because right now I'm like, okay, I could buy this or I could check out this one, but at the top of the page, try to get their leads. So if you have a reader magnet, I'm not sure if you have it in here, let me just take a look, take a peek at where this navigates, and see, is there a look inside feature? Maybe not. The look inside is so nice because, yeah, there is a look inside. I can actually see if there's a lead magnet or not. So that's one thing that I always do when it comes to these types of things is Do we have a lead magnet? Do we have an offering? It doesn't look like it's visible in this part of the book, so I would recommend that. Same with our other fiction authors and fiction folks. Your reader magnet can be a deleted scene. It can be, opt in to get access to a community. It could be access to a free secret novella they can't get anywhere else. There's a lot of different options, and really our fiction coaches do a much better job of explaining what those options are and which one is best for your unique book. So just scrolling down, about the author, I like this section. This looks fine. Subscribe to my newsletter. I'm going to tell you again, people don't want to subscribe to your newsletter. They want to get something from you for free, and that's how you get people to subscribe. So keep that in mind. Again, best-selling author, Skyline Mansion series. Do I see the series anywhere? Do you have multiple books? If I'm seeing series, if I'm seeing mentions of other books, but I can only see one, that can limit my perception of you as an author. So the more books that you can have available to see, now you can have one call to action at the top, one book that you want to promote primarily, but beneath that you can have, and it's a part of this series, and then have all of the books listed, or at least the covers or options. That can help affirm you as an author. You have several books. Oh, cool. I'm going to be able to invest in this author. This author is legitimate. They've written several books. And that's usually an indication of a more seasoned writer, and that usually indicates subconsciously to people that your writing is going to be better. They're going to be better books, because people just naturally understand those things. And so these looks like they're giveaways. I'm not sure what they're a part of, or if they're a part of, okay, FedEx Fishing Giveaway. It looks like it is one of your books. Bailey Spring. So I'm not sure what these are, but remember that if you're offering anything like this on your website, it can take away from the main thing that you want people to do. So that's it for that bit. Let me go to your books page to see what is all listed here. Okay, so this is fantastic. I would love to see this series on your homepage underneath your top lead magnet offer, because right away what I noticed, these book covers are amazing. They look so professionally done. You have a series. I can see that they're all connected. This is something that I would love to see, because it offers that, again, the legitimacy to you as an author makes me more likely that I'm going to want to read your newest book offering that you have. Skyline Mansion companions, these look, I just think these are so pretty and so cool. Covers, by the way. So your cover designer is nailing it, and just your genre in general. So I would think back to, how can I brand myself with this genre through line? Because these are very different covers, very different looking, but they still have this common thread to them that you can kind of use a little bit more. Let's see, Skyline Mansion companions. Each of the novellas below showcases characters from the world of Skyline Mansion. This is Skyline Mansion. So one thing that I am curious about is these book covers. I love them. This might be personal preference. I would have to actually look at your Amazon categories to see if these covers are in line with what is the expectation there. But first thing I notice is these covers, if they're companions, are very different from what these look like. So that's something to think about, that if they're a companion, are they in the same genre? Are they not? They very well might not be. I don't know. But they do look very different if they're meant to be companion and meant to come from the Skyline Mansion, which is Skyline Mansion series. A decade-old scandal. Okay, so this is cool. Explore the series. What I would offer here, actually, Nola, is read the first 3 chapters of the first book, or some sort of lead magnet that gets them hooked in. And then you can then later sell them the first book, second book, third book, all of that thing. But exploring the series is just going to redirect to your Amazon page, which is great, and they can buy it. But you can also offer them to dip their toes in the sand, because take a commitment to a full 3-book series is a little bit much, even for readers who love this stuff. And it's a great opportunity to offer them something for free while saying, you have this promise coming, but I'm going to give you something for free before you even get to all of these good books that I have. And same right here. So remember that these sections can be opportunities to get those leads as well. And you can hear through a lot of my website feedback for all of you authors is I'm mentioning so many opportunities to collect email addresses. And there is a reason for that. Your email list is something that you control. And getting readers on there is so important because when people buy your book on Amazon, you don't get their contact information. You don't know who bought. You can't send them a review sweeper email sequence like we teach our students in order to get more book reviews, which helps boost your book in the rankings. So you can't do any of that until you have their email address. And so keep that in mind as I'm giving this advice, because most authors get this wrong, right? And this is the purpose of a good marketing on a website, and really my specialty at Self-Publishing School is getting leads. We bring in over 4,000 leads a month just from one of our websites, and we now have 5 websites that we have. So keep this in mind that this is my specialty, and it is also so important for authors that most people overlook. It's why we spend so much time teaching our authors a lot of these things, even though most people will implement this stuff after they've published, after they have some stuff under their belt, which Nola, it is perfect time for you to start ramping up your email list building, your lead generation, because you've got enough stock, enough books where you can continue to use your email list to sell the next book in your series, the next companion novels. And now that I'm seeing that you have anthologies, you can also sell some of these as well. And so what I would actually do is offer one of these for free in this section so they can decide if they want to read more. So that is some advice for your book page. I would also, just as much as you can, at least put these 3 on your homepage underneath this book section and your lead magnet that you're offering here, because it just, again, further legitimizes you. Now let's go to resources. Okay, so this is just a little confusing of a format. I'm not really sure what you're offering or where you're offering it, what these things are. So a little cleaning up of the order of this. Your resources page is also an opportunity to collect leads again, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, Nola, I think this is very simple. There's a lot of opportunity for lead generation and really just showcasing all of the work you've done on your books. I think your book page looks amazing. I would love to see some of that brought into your homepage because, again, most people are going to go to your homepage first because we've been trained to learn that's where the important information is. All right, going on to Karina Douglas. Now, what I notice about this right away is that there is a whole lot of space being taken. The entirety of the above the fold, so your prime real estate, is just being taken up with an image of a forest and your name with author, which you can very well just put Karina Douglas, author there, and it says exactly what you're using this space for. But you've got to use this space for something much more impactful. So again, lead generation. What is the first thing you want people to do when they come to this page on your website? Put that in this whole space. I think this is a pretty picture, but it is not encompassing of these 3 series that you have, which, by the way, killer book covers. Again, your book cover designer is amazing. Our fiction students are just killing it with some of this stuff. And this is amazing. I would just put, how many books are in this series? I think you have a lot. I've seen this several times, like 9 books or something incredible. Another thing I'm noticing is I can't click any of these. So even if I wanted to check them out, I have to keep figuring out where to get them from. So that's another piece of advice. I would make this smaller, make your top menu actually smaller. You have a lot of space here that it can be this big, and that will be fine. Your books, we'll go into that in a second, but your homepage, offer me a lead magnet, offer me the first few chapters of this series for free. And I would start, if you have several series as a fiction author, start by offering a lead magnet that best connects with your best-selling and most books in the series that you have, because again, and our fiction coach Rami talks about this all the time, the read through on Kindle Unlimited, if you start with something that's popular, it will trigger a higher read through rate for you. Your books will be recommended to that person, more likely to get them to read the next thing. So I would start with whatever one is most complete. Put the book cover here, put a mock-up of whatever lead magnet you have, put it at this top, put some catchy copy with a form right away to start. And then before any of this, because again, I know people are readers and they're coming to your site, but remember, readers judge books by their cover. They're going to judge you as an author by your covers. Put these right up at the top. You can put all of this copy down below, put these covers up at the top, and welcome to, you can keep this actually, welcome to a world of Celtic mythology, fairy tales, and folklore, but put these under here and you have the brief series, give them an opportunity to buy them. So put buttons under here or make these images clickable. People often will click on images if they see them because we're so used to images being links or being able to click on an image and navigate with social media now. So if you have images, highly recommend making them clickable, unless you want them to fill in the form. So if you have an image here, don't make this clickable, have them fill in the form. And then you could put this down below, where you have this as the top line and then this underneath it. And so people can read that beneath all of this. This looks like a testimonial or a review. Put some screenshots of some real Amazon reviews. Again, I think you have quite a few if I remember correctly. So again, subscribe to my newsletter and receive a free gift. Don't tell me to subscribe to receive a free gift. Just say, get a free gift of the prequel to Daughter of Winter series. That's perfect. Put this up on the top of your page. Definitely put it up. If it's a prequel to the series and they're getting it for free, how long is it? Is it like a full book? Is it a novella? Tell me what that is. Tell me that it's free and give me a form. Looks like I have to hit a link in order to navigate. Uh-oh. Karina, your link is broken for your lead magnet. Okay, I'm gonna try to open it in a new tab. Nope. Let me see if I can open link directly. Okay, that seemed to work. So something about your link is not actually working when people click it for the first time. To click it twice. So just a note there that now people can't sign up. Whenever possible, I think you can embed a form directly from MailerLite. That looks like be your email provider. Directly here, much easier, because again, we don't want to make it difficult for people. The more clicks they have to take in order to opt into something, the less likely they are to follow through with it. So again, make that a little bit simpler. Don't have it say subscribe. Have the button say get my free gift. That stuff is editable in MailerLite as well. So a couple of notes there. Let's go to your books page because you do have quite a bit. I love this page. This is what I want. Like, I want this format with all of this stuff. Where's the buttons to buy them? Okay, so this is a click just to buy on Kindle. Okay, so one note, yeah. See, this book is amazing, and I would put how many reviews you have, put how many stars if you can on the website. This is great, but the fact that I had to click multiple times just to find a way to buy your book is going to lose you sales. It's going to lose you engagement. So the fact that I had to go to books and then I had to click on the image of the book and then I had to click buy, I want that button right under here. I want to be able to buy it right away. People can read more about it on the Amazon page, so you don't actually have to have this stuff listed here. This description, so this can be in this as well. So you've already got trigger warnings. That's beautiful. And so you really don't need this page. And so that's actually can decrease your conversion to buyers if they have to click so many times. But right now I see this is awesome. What I would do is actually Daughter of Winter, I would have this say book number 2, book number 3, just with like a -2, -3. So people, I mean, it's kind of logical that it would follow that, but just again, to make things super easy for people to understand. And then this is your freebie, it looks like. And then this is another series. This looks like it's part of this series, a new one coming soon. I love these things. In the coming soon, have a button that's not to buy, but a button to sign up to be a part of the launch team, to be a part of the ARC, to get a free copy and be a part of the launch team for your upcoming books. So that's just another opportunity to gain interest, and people who are going to sign up for there are super, super high intent buyers. They probably already read your stuff and they're here because they want to learn more. So keep those things in mind. Otherwise, this is a very pretty site. Your books, that's fine. That works. Let me see your about page, Karina. I write stories and edit manuscripts. That's awesome. This is cool. I like it. It's an about page about you. So you have some stuff there right away. Also, mother of 4 crazy kids and a wife to a wonderful husband. I love this stuff. Yeah, your about page is great. You've got a lot of stuff there. If you're somebody and you want to push your editing services, put services in here, or even editing services in your top menu, so people don't have to dig in order to learn how to work with you. So I would say that if you're offering that service, contact, email at, okay, that's cool. Cool. That's the advice that I have for you, Karina. Ultimately, get your lead magnet at the top. Don't take up so much of the top website for just a pretty picture with author when you can add author in here. And that would be my advice to you. Sowing suspicion. So this author has a So a MailerLite page. So when in my video about setting up your author website, I did talk a little bit about having a direct domain, so purchasing a domain and then having it hosted elsewhere. So this author has it hosted on MailerPage, which I think is part of MailerLite, if I'm not mistaken, which is an email service provider that a lot of our authors use. So she's gone and decided to do the website by the book series name, which is another option, or your world name. I know our fiction author coach has Paradise Lot as his website, and his book series take place in that world. So he's named the website after the world. So that's totally fine. Dragonflies, so I think that's something that she has there. So this picture is kind of small. So I can see book 1, Sewing Sufficient, available now. Book 2, coming soon. Stay up to date. Get author books and short stories here. So I would say if you have a short story that is a lead magnet, just tell them that they will get that for free. And give a little bit of information about that and ask them to sign up. And find out a way that you can kind of get these standalone pictures on your website separately and then text separately. I know that this is an image that is created and then uploaded, so that might make it look a little bit more in line with the rest of your website. You can just tell that this is a picture there. Thinking Cozy Thoughts. Join our Quilting Cozy Mystery Village today. Okay. So this is cool. I like the branding. How done it. Buy the book, pre-order. So I like this a little bit. Where do I get to join your village? I would like to join your village. Do I have to pre-order in order to join the village? Is the village, I was assuming it was a community that you had created that I could get access to if I give you my email and first name. So just a little bit of advice there of what is Quilting Cozy Mystery Village? How do I get access to it? Some more details about that. So there's a Patreon exclusive that's there. Some share buttons. So overall, it looks like your website is kind of just like uploaded images and a couple of fonts. So I would take a look at how you can better organize this so it's more clear. I would like these books to be kind of next to each other so I can see the order in which they're supposed to go to. Give me some links to buy them that are more in button form. You know, buy now, get your lead magnet now, something like that. In order to do that, let me see if you've got a menu, home, sewing suspicion. So you've got a little bit of a description, the book. So this doesn't really look like a link. It just is underlined. I know that it's a link, but have a button, have a call out that's a little bit clearer where they can actually go to buy it. And then is this your only book? I saw on your homepage you had more, so make sure that this gets updated as well. Bonus content. Let's see. So, interesting enough, if I were to come to this page, what if I want the password? Where do I go? So I'm not seeing any information about how to get access, enter your password, unlock something fun. Where do I go if I want the password? What do I have to do? Do I have to give you my email and phone number, or email and name? Tell me where to go so that I can get the password if I don't have one, since this is a public page. So this is about the author, I'm assuming. Latest book or short story. Again, singular thing. What are they going to get if they give you their email, address, and then a contact page? Cool. Contact page is fine. Yeah, write to me directly. That is my advice to you on kind of just buttoning up your page, making it a little bit easier to navigate and a little more structured for somebody who's going through it, and get your lead magnets a little bit more specific so people know exactly what they're going to get when they put these things in there. So let's get into the next website, which looks like it's going to be a children's website. So S.E. Bell Books. So this is an example of an author, probably didn't have her full name available, but had books available. So right away, we already know this is an author. They have several books. Let's take a look at this. I really like this header. I think it's very clear. There's a cute logo. You have all of the menus there, a login, which is interesting, and a cart. So I like that. My latest book, right at the top, you have this here. My first suggestion would be to view details, remove the price if you can, and just have like a buy now if you want to have your first action at top be buying the book specifically instead of a lead magnet opt-in. Now you do have coloring pages, which I'm assuming is going to be your lead magnet. If not, I would make that, let's say, bike ride. Probably something that we need to download. Oh, download button here. So this is a little bit difficult to see. Make these lead magnets. So you have these coloring books that people can get for their kids, they can print out, but they're just free right now and are free to get totally. So you can keep them free, but if you have your coloring pages as a lead magnet, you can pair it with this and create a book mock-up or picture similar to this, but with the black and white pages, so people can see them side by side. Hey, get your free coloring pages that go with this book. First name, email, get my free coloring pages as the button. And then right away, you're able to collect leads that way. And you have your website set up where people know immediately that not only are you an author, you have books to buy, but you're capturing their email first and providing them value with the free coloring pages. So one thing that maybe I haven't mentioned as much is the purpose of something free isn't only to get the email address. As a marketer, that's kind of that's why we offer value, or that's why we make a trade. So you can absolutely offer a lot of this stuff for free, but why do that if you can also offer it for free and get their email address from it? So you're growing your email list, you have a way to connect directly with people, and you own your email list. So that would be my top suggestion. Otherwise, this looks pretty good. I love your book. I think that's so pretty. The cover is really cute. I love that you have 3 reviews right away, plainly labeled as reviews. Be the first to find out about new children's books. So here's another thing that I would offer something and have them opt in, but I like that it's pretty simple here. One thing that you can add is if you have books, do you have more than one? Let me see. Because right from your, you have 4. I would put those all on the homepage somewhere where you can have them all listed out. Because basically your homepage right now looks like this is, your only book, and might say, if somebody's not interested in this one, they might think this is all that you have to offer. So have some more books on your homepage that if they have like a, see more, it will go to your books page, because you have 4 things listed here, which I think is great. If you're able to remove the price. That just requires people to click in order to learn more, and clicking gets them preferably to your Amazon page. Maybe they're ordering this directly from you, in which case I guess that is a little bit different. Book signing. So these are signed copies. Okay. So can they go anywhere from your website to order them on Amazon or wherever you have them listed? Because that will be more effective for your Amazon book sales, is having sales go through that. If this is just signed copies, make sure it says that somewhere where people know that I have another option to buy it, but if I want the signed copy, then I have to go through you. Otherwise, if this is the only way for people to buy your books, you can make that known as well. And then like the price in the cart is all fine. But just know that you do have the option to click directly to your Amazon page, and just note that people buying them from your site are specifically buying signed copies. I know other authors who do this on their author websites as well. You have an about section here, so that's nice. And then contact us. Is us specific to multiple people, or is it only you? Make sure that's like a little bit more in alignment. Otherwise people, okay, publisher, cool. Otherwise I think this is a really cute theme. I think it fits with your books. Just those couple of notes on your homepage, and I think it can really up-level your website and help you grow your email list at the same time. Let's go to the next one. This one is super cute. I already love that we have the illustrations. We already know it's a children's book without really having to go further. About the pains of growing up. Now this picture is very large. That's the first thing that I noticed. It's taking up a ton of the screen. And by now, throughout this video of audits, you understand the importance of having some sort of action to be taken above the fold. The next thing I will say is that I can't really see what this says. So what I would recommend is having this cute little picture on the side, but then having the words come on this side here, which looks like Grady Bear Adventures is what it says. So you can kind of have that, just the text next to it with the bear logo, just to further identify what this website is, what it's about. Otherwise, these are okay. They're a little far to the edge. If you were able to bring those more into the center, they will be more eye-catching and people will see the navigation easier. This is cute. I like how It moves. Oh, interesting. I see. So this is really cute and creative. So one thing that I want to make sure that we understand is while this is really cute, creative, it does look legitimate. Now, you get to decide if you prefer that or if you prefer functionality, because down here, all we hear about is, we're seeing all the pictures, we're seeing all that stuff, but we're not able to take action even yet. So I've scrolled down what would be kind of two pages, and I yet don't have anywhere to take action with you, to sign up for your email list, to get something for free, or to even buy your book that I am seeing so much illustrations about. So about the adventures, I see that it's for kids. Put a button here if it is, so like you can direct them to buy the books right away or to sign up for you. I think this is great. I love that you can hover and it flips. This dynamic is really, really cute. So I have to click? Okay, purchase on Shopee, click and purchase there. Are these available on Amazon? I always say Amazon just because if people are buying in other places, it won't have the same effect on boosting the placement on Amazon. If you're totally fine with that, if you are somebody, for example, this author might not be trying to get rankings on Amazon, then that's fine. I'm just noticing that purchase on Shopee takes me to somewhere else where I can purchase the book, which is likely not a specific book center. So again, this might be somebody where they're not looking to sell on Amazon, if that's the case, but this is a really cool layout of your books. The one thing I will say is if you have a little bit more details about the books underneath, first day of school, that might be enough for children's, but having the opportunity to have these either a little bit bigger or more spread out, you're wasting a little bit of space on the website here in this section. So if you're able to make those bigger, that would make them pop a little bit more. Visit our shop on Shopee. Again, if that's the primary location you want people to buy, then that's perfectly fine. This animation is really cool where it goes around what you want them to take action on. And then about the author down below, which is cool. I like this. It would actually be really cool if you had a illustration of what you kind of look like in there just to keep with the theme. I think the real picture of you is very different than the whole theme of the website so far. And it would just kind of be cool if you had some kind of illustration of you that went with this branding a little bit more. But I think this looks cool. You do have the opportunity to say, learn more about me if it goes to the about page. But if this is just it goes to the about section there. So this might be a one-page website where these links jump to a section. Again, perfectly acceptable. Inquiries. Why might people contact you? How can you make this a little bit more personalized? This is so cute that it's looking at that. And then just a lot of empty space. So for this website, while I think it's really beautifully designed, I would say that the functionality or the purpose of the website, you may want to take a look at if you truly just want it to be an impressive design, or do you want it to be functional? So where are the buttons where they can take action? How can they really easily navigate to these sections in order to do what you want them to do? And so if you can move your books up higher, if you can, have some details there or something right here that is said, buy my books, and that opens up your Shopee page, which it looks like that might be your primary way that people are finding and buying your books. Otherwise, this is a lot of empty space down here. There's a second opportunity to feature a lead magnet or coloring pages or something where you can grow your email list. Again, this is all single page. Cool. So that is the advice I would have for this page. Again, really impressive design and functionality. One thing to just question is making it the easiest ever, the easiest thing on your website for people to either buy your books or sign up to your email list, if those are kind of the two primary things that you want people to do on your website. At the end of the day, your author website can be unique to you. Now, these are just tips that we know work not only for author websites, but for converting websites in the first place. And remember, converting means getting people to take the action you want. And so in the video where I talked about how to set up your website, I talked a lot about giving a purpose to each page. And so you might have seen me reference that in this audit. Now, if you're somebody who wants to get started on your author website and building it, get the author website checklist linked in the description below, sent to your email inbox so you can make sure that you're starting on the right foot with all of the right advice so you can go through this checklist and maybe not end up on an audit where I'm telling you to change your whole website. Until next time, guys, subscribe to our channel and I will see you in the next video.